Welcome to the podcast of School Beyond Limitations. In this podcast, you will learn how to guide your child through their school life with the intention to help them find their unique essence that will allow your daughter, your son to live a fulfilled and meaningful life. What is the curriculum of School Beyond Limitations? My name is Dr. Martina. I'm the co-founder, CEO, and developer of the school model of School Beyond Limitations. If you would like your child to live a meaningful life, then this is the channel for you. What is the curriculum of School Beyond Limitations? Do we have a curriculum? Yes and no is basically the answer. Yes and no. What does that mean? We do have, of course, an understanding that our students need to do are meant to build up, their knowledge in the fundamentals. And this is mathematics and language acquisition. What does that mean? We have a continuum that we call continuum, math continuum. And we have a continuum that we call language continuum. And in the math continuum, all the fields and topics that, in mathematics should be covered in order to understand mathematics at a level that allows a student to undertake examinations in order to be ready for university entry. And with the language continuum, it's the same. So we have a continuum that is also meant to implement everything a person needs to know, building up vocabulary, building up, writing skills, reading skills, discussion skills, conversational skills, and whatsoever, in order to be ready to embrace also difficult content and to make academic and also produce academic essays, for instance. And this is what is the foundation for us. But we do not say in grade 1, in grade 2, in grade 3, you have to do this and that. We keep that open and we allow each student to work on the different fields and topics and skills at their specific pace. So it can well be that a student at the age of 10 is already doing things that other students in traditional schools are doing at the age of 14, or vice versa. Maybe they are a little bit below. But we don't judge that. We don't say this is not good enough or this is too good. We just say you do it at your own pace, and that's why it's very personalized. But other than that, all the other subjects that we know from traditional school settings, history and political science and biology and physics and whatsoever, we do not have such topics and it's not that we are not doing that. We are actually looking at different topics from different fields, from different angles. So for instance, if I were to look into the consistence of the universe, then I look at the universe as it is, and I would also look at the universe from the angle of mathematics, from the angle of literature, from the angle of course, physics and biology. So we are doing this from an multi, or transdisciplinary approach point of view. And that allows students to actually make connections and see that there is not a standalone subject, that physics is stands in relation to music, mathematics stands in relation to music, music stands in relation with culture and so forth. And this is what we aim for our students to understand and ourselves, because I think what we have done as human beings, we have tried to make sense of nature. We have tried to make sense of the human essence and what the humanity of history and everything. And by doing that, we have actually started like, a medical doctor who actually started to really separate into lots of different fields. There is the person who is, there to think in terms of I'm specializing in the brain, neurologist, and so forth. So we specialize. We have specialized so much that we actually have lost, kind of the understanding for the connections of the big picture. And this is what we are doing with our curriculum. So we have a curriculum that is constantly changing and constantly adapting to the interests of our students, to the goals of our students. So it could well be that if they are, for instance, already at a level where they start preparing for IGCSE's qualifications or A-level qualifications, we use that content to make connections to other fields that that the fields are connected with, so that they start again embracing and seeing things as a interconnected field of knowledge. Because at the end of the day, if we want to understand our condition as a human being, we need to have a open-minded and a vast knowledge of lots of different things. We need to understand. We need to have a generic understanding of how things are working. And yet, it doesn't mean that I can't specialize in certain fields. But I think the specialization can't let go of the generic knowledge, because if I forget about the interconnection of the rest, then I may not do justice, to the topic I'm investigating on or working in. For instance, a medical doctor who is only seeing the symptoms, we know that, and only working towards, finding a solution to alleviate the symptoms, that will not heal the disease. It will not. I need to understand all of the aspects that have an interference with the condition of the person. And this is what our curriculum is all about. Our curriculum aims to treasure this aspect, and that's why the curriculum is actually created together with the students. The content is created together with the students and will never be the same in any of the classes, because the students are co-creators of the knowledge that will be, constructed together. And that is a term that we call constructivism. So basically, knowledge is constantly constructed through different layers of knowledge. There is the one layer which I call inner knowing. It's the absolute knowledge that's already there, that's already embedded in all of us. Then there is the tacit knowledge, which is a knowledge that each person of us actually holds, and that's not put into any text or so, but we hold it because it's conditioned and it's formed by our own history, by our own cultural background, by our own belief system, our own educational upbringing, and so forth. That's the tacit knowledge and not put into writing. And then there is this explicit knowledge that I can find anywhere. I can find in the books, I can find in articles, I can find online, and so forth. And what we aim to do with our curriculum within School Beyond Limitations, on top of having the fundamentals done in mathematics and in language and in personal development and in financial development and education, is that we build, and co-construct our curriculum always together. So we may talk more about, in certain classes about politics in the United States rather than in the Ukraine or in Australia. So as you see, it's constantly building, and the tacit knowledge and the explicit knowledge and the inner knowing are put together to construct something new. And you may understand this is a flexible and an organic creation of knowledge. And as such, it's a creative process, and students would not feel bored about it because they become investigators, explorers, and inquirers of their own topic and field of inquiry, as we call it. And if you think, that this is something that you would like your child to find out about more, then I think you should not hesitate and get in touch with us, because this is a curriculum that's flexible. This is a curriculum where your children learn to build up a approach to learning that is embedded in their own being, because they understand that reading every day, doing mathematics and problem solving every day, and engaging in inquiry every day and writing every day is part of the learning, and that they are not the only learners in the field, but they are the learners and the teachers, so to speak, in the field. And they shape the curriculum together with the facilitators. And I think that's the fascinating bit about it. And I think if we understand that this is a never-ending story, then a student will be inspired as much as the facilitator is inspired by engaging in such a learning situation and such a learning environment. School Beyond Limitations, as I mentioned, is a flexible curriculum. And interestingly enough, we see that more and more universities are also going in that direction now, and also academic writing and academic practice will be changing. However, and by saying that, I don't want to underestimate the importance of physical books. I don't want to say that physical books are not any more important. I'm an academic myself. I hold 2 doctoral degrees and a master degree, and I need to say how much I enjoyed that process, not always, because this is a very tiring and also a very demanding process, and I think it's an important process for a person to go through. But it's about this exchange that's taking place. And it's in many universities, the approach towards opening faculties that are more multifaceted instead of being so specialized is a result of that. And also another result of that is that universities, and especially prestigious universities, start to reconsider whether they want to still apply the same admission requirements as they used to do in the past, like all the testings and qualifications and SAT papers and and whatsoever. They are more looking into students with specific skills and with a specific portfolio. So I think we will be seeing lots of change coming at us by seeing increasingly more universities creating, an approach where they say, we want people to study with us who are ready to engage in this kind of academic conversation, and not just academic conversation, because I think that's also something that we need to highlight here. It is important that academia doesn't see itself as a standalone, but academia is meant to collaborate with enterprises and companies, and that this is all kind of interconnected. And this is what the future will bring. And this is the shift also in the curriculum of many, many universities and schools. And I see this actually come more and more, and not just within School Beyond Limitations. But we wanted to start, and we didn't want to stop here. And I think this is, if you want change to happen, then you need to start somewhere. And I encourage everyone to come on the boat and to become part of this wave of change in education. At School Beyond Limitations, we support our students find their unique essence. Feel free to share the content of this podcast with other parents. We are here to show that your children can, indeed, bring their unique essence into life. So, reach out to us if you think that this is what you'd like your daughter, your son to experience. or apply through our website. Also, leave your comments, your questions, or your review about the podcast. Share it with others. And as you know, sharing is caring.